the round ball that he had found. Okay, so and it came to pass that we did take our tents and depart into the wilderness across the river Lamon. And it came to pass that we traveled for the space of 4 days, nearly a southeast direction, and we did pitch our tents again, and we did call the name of the place Shazar. And it came to pass that we did take our bows and our arrows and go forth into the wilderness good to slay food for our families. He and after we had slain food for our families, we did return again to our families in the wilderness to the place of Shazar. And we did go forth again in the wilderness, following the same direction, keeping in the most fertile parts of the wilderness, which were in the borders near the Red Sea. And it came to pass that we did travel for the space of many days, slaying food by the way with our bows and our arrows and our stones and our slings. And we did follow the directions of the ball, which led us in the more fertile parts of the wilderness. And after we had traveled for the space of many days, we did pitch our tents for the space of a time, that we might again rest ourselves and obtain food for our families. And it came to pass that as I, Nephi, went forth to slay food, behold, I did break my bow, which was made of fine steel. And after I did break my bow, behold, my brethren were angry with me because of the loss of my bow, for we did obtain no food. And it came to pass that we did return without food to our families, and being much fatigued because of our journeying, did they suffer much for the want of food. And it came to pass that the Laman and Lemuel that Laman and Lemuel and the sons of Ishmael did begin to murmur exceedingly because of their sufferings and afflictions in the wilderness. And also my father began to murmur against the Lord his God, yea, and they were all exceedingly sorrowful, even that they did murmur against the Lord. So they murmured and they were frustrated, out of frustration because he broke his bow. So since he broke the bow, it's hard for him to now obtain food and go out there and hunt and get animals and bring the food back to, them. So they're hungry and they're frustrated. So they started yelling at the Lord and, swearing onto the Lord and just losing faith and losing hope. Now it came to pass that I, Nephi, having been afflicted with my brethren because of the loss of my bow, and their bows having lost their springs, it began to be exceedingly difficult, yea, insomuch that we could obtain no food. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did speak much unto my brethren, because they had hardened their hearts again, even unto complaining against the Lord their God. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did make out of wood a bow, and out of a straight stick and arrow. Wherefore I did arm myself with a bow and an arrow, with a sling and with stones. And I said unto my father, whither shall I go to obtain food? So now he's wondering where he should go. But he is the one that is very So Nephi was the one that was being picked on, and they were really angry, and they was angry with him because they're like, "How did you break your bow? How could you break your bow? Now, what are we supposed to do about food? Because now that you have no bow, how are we supposed to get food?" So they're yelling at him, and Nephi, I feel like he's very strong, to take all of this. He's very wise, and he's the most faithful of the bunch, and you'll listen as to why as I go on in the story. Hey, how are you, Spencer? And it came to pass that I, Nephi, did make out of wood a bow, and out of a straight stick an arrow. Wherefore I did arm myself with a bow and an arrow, with a sling and with stones. And I said unto my father, whither shall I go to obtain food? And it came to pass that he did inquire of the Lord, for they had humbled themselves because of my words. For I did say many things unto them, and the energy of my soul. He was very passionate about what he was saying, so therefore he got their attention. And it came to pass that the voice of the Lord came unto my father, and he was truly chastened because of his murmuring against the Lord, insomuch that he was brought down into the depths of sorrow. So his father was a firm believer as well, but when this had happened, he just became so depressed and so hardened in heart because, again, when you don't have food, you become frustrated and you become you just start to lose hope, and you start to lose hope for the situation. And it came to pass that the voice of the Lord said unto him, Look upon the ball, and behold the things which are written. So he's looking on his ball, and he's seeing what's written on the ball. And it came to pass that when my father beheld the things which were written upon the ball, he did fear and tremble exceedingly. And also my brethren and the son of Ishmael and our wives. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, beheld the pointers which were on the ball, that they did work according to the faith and diligence, faith and patience, humbleness. You have to be patient, and you have to truly believe that it all will work out, even in this situation. So that's what was written on the wall. On the ball, faith and diligence. So they really took this into their mind, and they started believing, like, oh, so this is how it works, and God had brought it to their attention. And there was also written upon them a new writing, which was plain to be read. So this ball also revealed a new writing so there was a writing already, but the ball revealed another writing, which was plain to be read, which did give us understanding concerning the ways of the Lord. And it was written and changed from time to time, according to faith and diligence, which we gave unto it. And this we see that by small means the Lord can bring about great things. By small means the Lord can bring about great things. Hello, how are you? I'm good. So another writing appeared on a ball, according to their faith, according to their diligence. It appeared to be another writing on the wall. On the ball. Like, wow, that's remarkable. And it came to pass that I did slay wild beasts. So now, now that they had that faith and their diligence was restored onto the ball, and they believed, and now God had spoken and appeared to them, now they are hopeful towards the situation. And now they go back and they go finish what they started. So, and it came to pass that I did slay wild beasts, insomuch that I did obtain food for our families. And it came to pass that I did return to our tents, bearing the beasts which I had slain. And now when they beheld that I had obtained food, how great was their joy. And it came to pass that they did humble themselves before the Lord, and did give thanks unto him. So this is basically, thank you. This is basically like a message, So just like I spoke, my last life had ended, but I spoke about how this pastor would go into this home of someone who, they felt was kind of weird or strange. They felt like this person he prayed over because, it's a lot of rumors going on about them. So this pastor goes with his cross and his holy water, and he goes to pray over this person and hope that the demon would leave out of this person. But this pastor goes in there, but he did not have faith. So he had a cross and he had his holy water, but he did not have faith. So because he did not have faith, that cross and that holy water did not work as he planned. And that's basically the message that is going on here. So you got this compass, or you got this ball, and you're following this compass. God told you to go out to the wilderness. You find this compass and you really don't believe in this compass. This compass was found, but God gave him the compass. So you go out into the wilderness, but because they did not have faith or diligence in onto upon this compass, or faith or diligence that God can provide for them, you know, and direct them through this, through this ball or this compass, they didn't get what they wanted out of the situation. His arrow broke. Basically, bad luck just happened. So his arrow broke, and his arrow was the reason that they were getting food. So they didn't get much food. His arrow broke, and they didn't really have faith towards the situation, and they weren't patient. They lost faith. They hardened their hearts. They started becoming frustrated with God, and they were just panicking. So then God humbled them, and obviously, works without faith and faith without works are dead. So if you go into a situation and you're not faith, you have no faith towards it, or let's say you got this watch. Let's say you got this watch, and you're like, oh yeah, I got my watch. It's not working. So you got this watch, but it's not working, and um, you start to lose hope. I'm about to throw this watch out. Like, it's not working, and now time just isn't given for you. You don't know what time it is. It's just everything is messing up in your life. But then God tells you to look at your watch again and be patient. Thank you. So God looks at him. Well, God tells him to look at his watch again. And he was like, why? It doesn't work. The hands is all messed up. It's not working. I don't know what time it is. Why should I look at this watch? God says, have faith and diligence. So he calms down. He doesn't have much anxiety. His heart rate is slowing down. He's like, okay. And he's trusting in God. So he looks at the watch, and then it starts working, because God has power over, the situation. If you trust in me and you believe in me, when I tell you to look at this watch and you look at it, you'll see my works. Okay, so let's continue on. And it came to pass that I did return to our tents, bearing the beasts which I had slain. And now, when they beheld that I had obtained food, how great was their joy! And it came to pass that they did humble themselves before the Lord, and did give thanks unto him. And it came to pass that we did again take our journey, traveling nearly the same course as in the beginning. And after we had traveled for the space of many days, we did pitch our tents again, that we may tarry for the space of a time. And it came to pass that Ishmael died, and was buried in the place which was called Naham. And it came to pass that the daughters of Ishmael did mourn exceedingly, because of the loss of their father, and because of their afflictions in the wilderness. And they did murmur against my father, because he had brought them out of the land of Jerusalem, saying, our father is dead. Yea, and we have wandered much in the wilderness, and we have suffered much affliction, hunger, thirst, fatigue, and after all this suffering we must perish in the wilderness with hunger. And this they did murmur against my father, and also against me, and they were desirous to return again to Jerusalem. And Laman said unto Lemuel, and also the sons of Ishmael, behold, let us stay. Let us slay our father, and also our brother Nephi, who has taken it upon him to be our ruler and our teacher, who are his elder brethren. So now they are jealous of Nephi and their father, because God is speaking to Nephi and their father, but God is not speaking to them. So now they're jealous, and now they want to slay the father and Nephi. Now he says that the Lord has talked with him, and also that angels has ministered unto him. But behold, we know that he lies unto us, and he tells us these things. And he worketh many things by our cunning, by his cunning arts, and he may deceive our eyes, thinking perhaps that he may lead us away into some strange wilderness. And after he has led us away, he has thought to make himself a king and a ruler over us. Now they are really, now they assuming, now they're in assumption, they're assuming that, God, at first they was jealous. God is talking to you, but God is not talking to me. If you can hear God, why can I hear God? I feel like you only saying this to lead me into the wilderness so that, you can have advantage over, you can take advantage of me, or take advantage of the situation. And now you all hidey mighty, like you want us to worship you and stuff like that. So this is the assumptions that they're making. So he has led us away, and after, so they're saying like after he has led us away, and he has thought to make himself a king and a ruler over us, that he may do with us according to his will and pleasure. And after this manner did my brother Lamont stir up their hearts to anger. So now they became hardened in their heart, and they're angry. And it came to pass that the Lord was with us. Yeah, even the voice of the Lord came and did speak many words unto them, and did chasten them exceedingly. And after they were chastened by the voice of the Lord, they did turn away their anger and did repent of their sins. Insomuch that the Lord did bless us again with food, that we did not perish. So after all that, because they were obedient and God chastened them, God said, stop, listen, have faith. God talked to them, sat them down, and really had that personal encounter with them. And because God did this, they sat down and he was like, okay. Basically, like he just said, Husky Lover. He was like, shut up. God was like, shut up. And they shut up. And because you shut up, I gave you some food and you were okay. God forgave them. After, like, I would feel some type of way. I'm like, hold up. They just threatened my life. They just threatened my life. They said they was gonna kill me and my father. They assumed all these things. They talked bad about me. Again, they said they was about to kill me, threaten my life, and you forgive them? You forgive them? Like, I would feel some type of way, honestly. I'd be like, what? Because a human being like ourselves, we can't just say, we can't just be like, okay with the situation. Oh, yeah. Oh, this person forgiven. He just beat me up. And you forgive him? And that's the difference between us and God. So it's just like, um, but yeah, I would definitely feel some type of way. You gave them food because they listened to you, but at the same time, they still threaten my life. They still threaten my life. They get no, they don't get punished for that. These are the questions that I would have towards the situation, honestly, because I just don't think that's fair. What if they do kill me? They already planted that seed in their mind that they was gonna do all these things. They thought it up about how, um, they thought it up about how, and assumed what I would do before I even did it. So it's like they planted all that in their mind about me, and just like that, they forgiven. They get what they want. Well, I gotta sit over here and think about my life at the end of the day. You know. But yeah, that's how I would feel. But but yeah, God forgives, but God also knows um God knows, regardless. So that's why you just gotta have trust towards the situation. But yeah, that is the end of the chapter. I just wanted to speak on that because, like I said, again, it's a lot of people out here skeptical and suspicious because a lot of these women is acting, weird, and a lot of men is acting weird. I really don't know about men too much, but I always hear it spoken about women like, yeah, this woman gonna cast a spell on you. This woman gonna do this to you. Like, this woman gonna use something to manipulate you into falling in love with her, and this and that and the third. So I just wanted to kind of give some closure towards the situation and say that without works, faith is dead. Without faith, works are dead. As long as they're not, if they're not in good standing with the Lord, if they're not in good standing with God, you have nothing to worry about because it won't work. Period. Point blank. So yeah, that is the end of the chapter. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hi. What's up, Jesse? I'm glad you think so. I like to think so myself. Okay, but I am going to talk to y'all next time. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share to all free will, shouldn't care.